on you.
I think I want to keep it simple. If you're thinking about whether or not you should study journalism or take a class here at Southwestern College and what the Sun is all about, let me save you all that trouble. Do it.
The Sex and the Sun column, that's still going.
Say 50 years.
You're gonna try to reach out.
50 years.
I originally came to college to be a journalist, so I was a journalism major. I came in knowing that that's what I wanted to do. I remember the very first time I saw Max, and I was supposed to take an art class, and coincidentally I went to the wrong class, and it was his Journalism 101. I had not signed up for it yet, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do, so I was in 151 with Sarah Megling, and the next semester I knew that I wanted to join the Sun, and during the class that I accidentally walked into but ended up staying, which was Max's class, he just kind of said, you need to come and join the paper.
Well, you know, I always was interested in journalism and TV news, and in high school at Montgomery we had a video production class, and I was a part of that for 4 years, from my freshman year to the very end. So when I started here at Southwestern, obviously, you know, I did have aspirations to kind of continue with that video production, you know, stuff, and get into TV news. And Sarah Megling was, you know, God bless her, wherever she is at. She's just was an incredible teacher here at Southwestern College, and she also taught the journalism class. So one day after class, she came up to me and said, "Hey, you know what? You ought to think about joining the Sun." She was also the advisor at the time. So I'm like, wow, okay, well, I felt honored that someone would actually invite me to be a part of something great. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So that spring of '96, I joined as a staff writer.
Yeah, I actually always liked to tell stories. That much I knew. So it was very basic. I always liked to tell stories, and then in high school, I would notice that my writing was improving as far as writing essays and little book reviews and stuff of that nature. So I said, well, if I like to tell stories and my writing isn't that bad, maybe I should combine it and take a quick class here at Southwestern College. So it was more of a why not type of thing.
Well, like most students, like a lot of students here at Southwestern, I was kind of drifting, and I was didn't really have a major declared. And then just one time, friend Janine Sotelo, she actually also became a member of the Sun. She invited me to come check out the class, and the first time I walked in that room, I was hooked immediately.
I worked on a lot of immigration issues. I worked with Enrique Morones, and actually one of the best stories that I've done in my entire career it was the Marcha Migrante. We went from San Isidro all the way to Canada, and it was pretty awesome.
And I learned so much about myself and just different things that I could do with myself, not just in terms of education, but just branching out. I got some of the best advice from an administrator here, Sharon Taylor. She said, community college, more than university, community college is the best place where you can test yourself to do anything. Try every single class, even if you don't think you don't like it, or you may like it, just sample everything. That way you know what you like and what you don't like. Because if you didn't try it, how would you know?
Our office was vandalized. We had students whose grades were dropped in their classes from teachers who were very not okay with the running of the story. It was about a good solid 2 semesters where you had to be really careful if you were in another class and you identified yourself as a Sun staff member.
I mean, there's so many memories here that I have. I spent so many days, nights, you know, mornings, whatever, here in the Sun. I don't know, one of my most memorable stories, probably when I went to my first Jack, just for the magnitude of the event. Like, I learned to be surrounded by a lot of journalists. You know, I competed in my first sports competition. I didn't win, however I got a taste of what it was out to be out there.
Probably writing a lot of the stories and actually going out into the community.
A lot of the things that, like I said before, I'm really interested in, and I've always been interested in, is social justice. And so going out into the community and being able to interview people, being able to write stories that maybe didn't have a voice at one point, those were the most impactful things to me. And also like going to protests, going to events, going to things, and being out there and being able to witness these things and document these things. I think those are the most impactful things for me. And I think that's also what makes me comfortable talking to people and being able to have the job and the career that I do in a community now, is because, you know, being out there and having to confront people, having to talk to people, having to push your way through things are still things that I use. So, yeah.
He says, "You're perfect for the story, go do it." Okay, fine. You know, you can't say no to him. And he does it because he believes in people, and he has that way of showing you that, yeah, I believe in you, without him having to really tell you.
Max is awesome. He's like the best ever. I don't see him often. I don't talk to him often like I would like to, but he's awesome. I remember every time walking into his room and him playing La Bamba and just playing with the guitar. I'm sure he's still the same, and you know, he's the most caring and loving person ever. He goes overboard just to do a lot for us.
I'm sure everyone can say this in consensus that Max is like the father to us all. Max loves everyone. He loves all of us. We're all his children. He all wants us to succeed. And he's one of the most amazing people that I've met. He's been one of the most amazing professors that I've had. And he's just a really important person.
Received opportunities and that I've been able to make the most of them, but it's no lie. Like what I learned here at the Sun, like I wouldn't be where I am in life today if it wasn't for Max Pranswell, number one, just for his support, encouragement, and all the wisdom that he has, not just in journalism, but just in life and just in being a good human being.
I think Max is the one professor who has had a direct influence in my career. At my time here in Southwestern College, and even comparing it to my college, I went to the University of San Francisco. Max by far has been the professor who has led the way, the professor where I found the support I needed. And even looking back, when I look at some of the stories I wrote, I cringe because I think this is so bad, this is horrible. But I remember him telling me, "You're a great writer, this is great, this is good work." And now I look back at that work and I'm like, it wasn't that great. So I really appreciate his influence, his support, and him always being a cheerleader for us.
Without Max, I would not be where I am now.
None of us would be.
Everyone has the same story, but Max has been a huge supporter of me and my success. He's been a mentor to me since I can recall. I work with him on other projects, and there isn't anything I would do for him.
We asked him to be the one to marry us. We didn't want some stranger giving us our vows. We didn't want some stranger sealing our bond that we created in this place, where we became who we were. And we became who we were because of him. The Shannon before 2002 was a hot mess. And so was the Ken before he came. And who we became, you know, we were these rough stones that Max polished. And we fell in love with each other because of who we had become here. And there wasn't anybody else that could have performed that ceremony. We wouldn't have done it. So I don't know.
There's a reason why that so many people will just call him up or email him or even ask him for a letter of recommendation or any little thing just to talk to him again. There is something about him that is transcendent.
Yeah.
He just
And I'll tell you,
gives.
he's the reason that every single person that's coming to you to do this is doing it.